Oh, hey, do everybody hear me out there? I was trying to adjust the light off inside here too. Man, it's all messed up. I see I got that incredible command chief. I remember I met him, man. I think he was the command chief of the 12th Flying Training Wing. And I remember you impressed me, man, when we were doing the Order of Sword ceremony for my boss. I remember you came over there and you told me, like, I was looking at how you was interacting with those heroes because, I love heroes and I seen it in your eye and your DNA. You love heroes too. And I can't think of a better person to lead those recruiters off inside, man. So I'm proud of you, hero. Big Chief, proud of you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, you recruiters out there, man. I love you guys. I love the heck out of you guys. And I'm so honored just to be here, just to spend a couple minutes just to talk to you guys too. The reason I like recruiters, man, because recruiters tell it like it is, man. And every time I have the opportunity to go out there and participate in the annual ceremony with recruiters, I always jump at the opportunity because not only do the recruiters, not only do I get the opportunity to share a message with the recruiters and fire them up, but they also fire me up because I love everything you guys do. You guys out there, you are selling the dream, man. You're giving people dreams. It made me go back to like 1984. And I'm telling you guys this, in 1984, I was supposed to be all you can be a paratrooper inside the United States Army. My dad was in the Army, my brother was in the Army, 101st Airborne Division, and I was supposed to be a paratrooper going to the 101st Airborne Division. So my brother, he talked to me, he was like, man, why you gonna go out there and do a paratroop in the 101st Airborne Division? Have you ever thought about going to the Air Force? And I was like, well, I probably ain't smart enough to get inside the Air Force or whatever else. And he told me to go talk to an Air Force recruiter. And I remember I talked to my Air Force recruiter, Master Sergeant Dennis White. And it's funny, I was looking through my old documents and I was looking at the documents was Master Sergeant White had me sign and everything. And I remember Sergeant White, he was a Master Sergeant, and he took a chance on me because the first time I took the ASVAB, I don't think I scored high enough. I didn't really care. But he took a chance on me and he worked with me and he encouraged me and he inspired me. And he gave me the opportunity to join the United States Air Force. So when I joined the United States Air Force, I remember I had to sign the documents over there for Master Sergeant White. One of the things said, hey, you ain't got no guaranteed job. I want to be a cop. So he said, you ain't got no guaranteed job, just go in open general. He said, hey, I ain't promised to give you any money. I ain't promised to give you an assignment, and I ain't promised to make you rich. And you know what? Over the years over there, I've been looking for Sergeant White. I still want to find Master Sergeant Dennis White because he lied to me, man. He told me he wasn't going to make me rich. And then, I may not be rich in my bank account, but I'm rich in how, I get to interact with heroes that y'all send inside the United States Air Force. So I'm really proud of you recruiters. My best job I ever had, and I'll tell you, this job, when I interviewed for the job, and the chief will tell you over there, sometimes you go talk to your mentor chiefs, and they try to vector you to go somewhere else. But ever since I was knee-high to a donkey butt, I always wanted to be an MTI, and when I promoted myself out of the opportunity to be an MTI, I remember I was a young chief. I wanted to be the command chief at Lackland Air Force Base. And I remember I was telling the chief that, and he was like, hey, you ain't meditating, you ain't old enough to do that. You ain't got enough experience to do that. But you know what? I said, man, I know I don't have the experience, but I had a will. This is my dream job to go out there and do it. And, they wouldn't vector me to go down and do it. So I went and did a installation. I was out at Edwards Air Force Base as a command chief out there, and I was vectored to go to the Numbered Air Force. But my dream was to always be the command chief at Lackland Air Force Base. So they did the slate. They didn't have my name on the slate to go down to Lackland. Like, what the heck, man? This is my dream job. They were vectoring me to go somewhere else. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I want to go down to Lackland Air Force Base. So I emailed the general at Lackland Air Force Base. Probably get in trouble doing a D-Day. I emailed him. I told him, ever since I made chief, my dream was to come down to Lackland. I said, sir, I would love to interview to be your wingman, to be down Lackland. Not because I just want to be a command chief, because I love airmen. That's the thing I love to do. And lo and behold, when he had his slate of chiefs to interview, it was 5 of them on there. He made them put my name on there to come interview with him too. And I remember I went down to interview with him. I was like, you know what you see is what you get. This is my dream job I want to do. I ain't gonna be nervous about it. I'm gonna be the same old person because I'm a command chief already. And so if he gonna hire me, is what he see is what he get. And so I sat down there with him. I was just like I'm talking to you guys right now. Within 5 minutes of talking to this guy, me and him clicked. He's like, congratulations, hey man, you got a job. I said, hold on, hero. Before I go out there and work for you, I got to make sure that I really want to work for you, that you're a good person, to have a talented person like me work for you. So I went by Starbucks. Anybody know I always go by Starbucks. I'm at Starbucks, I'm in the line, and one of the little heroes with 2 stripes on his sleeve, I asked him, I said, hey, do you know the wing commander? And he was like, yeah, I know General Patrick, man, he's a good guy. He did this and this and that. I said, so I went back and told General Patrick, you know what? Guess what? I would love to work for you because I went by Starbucks. A1C, vouched for you and gave me that you was a good guy. But you know how that A1C got down to Lackland? That A1C got down to Lackland because of a recruiter. And so I want to tell you guys, like, sometimes I think y'all undermine what y'all do. Y'all don't understand. Like, when I was a command chief down there every Tuesday night, when I was in town, man, I was at the airport. I was just all fired up about what y'all was sending down there. The guys with big old yellow folders and everything else. And I'm trying to figure out, man, out of all these years, in 1984, when I came to basic, I had a yellow folder. Why we ain't got rid of that yellow folder? But you can tell them all the way through the airport, this big yellow folder. And sometimes when I'm down there, when I first took over as command chief of Lackland, some of the MTIs didn't know who I was. So I'm down at the airport, I'm talking to trainees because I'm just interested in why they joining, why they serving, what the recruiter told them to inspire them to get here. And then I'm down at the airport, and sometimes MTI didn't realize I was a command chief after the first little month. They chew me out, tell me to tuck my shirt in, and get up against the wall. I go comply. Hey man, let me tuck my shirt in, get up against the wall. And then my wife calling on the phone like, where you at? It's 9 o'clock at night. Why you ain't at home? I'm down there doing what I love and know what I do because I'm taking in what the recruiters send me. And I used to go over there to them, just follow them all the way throughout the whole process. And I love you guys because y'all should go out there and bring all these qualified applicants down there. And I remember some of my military training instructors used to be complaining, talking about, Chief, look what they bringing down there. I'm like, hello, hero. They brought you a qualified applicant down there. So guess what? I don't want to hear none of that BMW. Go out there and train them. You need to go out there and train them. And then guess what? All those little squadrons down there, I'm looking at your attrition rate too. 322nd, second to none, you're training too hard. You better ease up your training over. You better treat them like your son, like, well, you better encourage them to go out there and conquer the world. But it's all with your recruiters. And y'all, man, on Friday, on the graduation day, seriously, some days, when I was a command chief down at Joint Base San Antonio, I left Lackland, man. When you do what you love and love what you do, and sometimes you start getting comfortable doing it, it's probably trying to find a new job, man, because I was getting comfortable over there at Lackland. I was meeting family members over there at lodging, and I knew they little kids that was in basic training. It was crazy, but I was getting comfortable with it. I was loving doing it. I was looking for another challenge. So then I went to Joint Base San Antonio. That assignment almost killed me, man. But the thing that used to keep me fired up, that kept me going, what I call like pride, enthusiasm, and passion. Pride, enthusiasm, and passion. That allowed me to turn those challenges into opportunities. That allowed me, when I got knocked down, to get back up. And I can tell you, I had my share of it. I used to go over there to the BMT, and I used to see the pride in the MTIs, all that pride of them going through there, watching those little heroes graduate. I used to go over there, Operation Kudos, for you old recruiters that I used to have kudos on Friday. I used to go over there, but boy, am I enthusiastic. I don't get my butt kicked throughout the whole week, and I'm down at the dumps. I'm down at my lowest point. But when I go over there with those recruiters, boy, am I enthusiastic. Boy, that pumped me back up. And then I'm talking about like that passion over there. The passion of all those heroes out there just to earn that title to be called airman. I can tell you, man, you guys are doing work, boy. You are doing work. And on Friday, the accumulation on Friday, and some days on Friday, my boss used to get mad at me too. And I didn't care. The reason I didn't care because you know what? I used to love to sit instead of over the overhang. I used to go over there and sit with the family members. And I'm over there listening to conversation because when I'm sitting with the family members, they give me a different understanding why I'm serving and also the expectation that's placed on my shoulder. And then I'm over the family members, I'm understanding some of them has no affiliation with the military. I remember this one family member, she was from Huntsville, Texas. In Huntsville, Texas, I'm from Texas. I always think about Huntsville as the prison where they execute people. And I remember her son when he first came down there. He barely could talk. He couldn't even put a sentence together. But I remember how he graduated. Man, he was a whole different person. He was a changed person. And I remember me and him sitting out there on a BMT bomb run. And he come up to me, and I'm over there with General Schwartz, the chief of staff of the Air Force. And he come up to me and said, sir, can I get a picture? I said, no problem there, hero. Let me go ahead and take that camera right there and take a picture of you and General. He's like, no, I want a picture with me and you I said, what? This is the chief of staff of the airport. And I was like, here go General Swartz, take this picture and take a picture of him. And then I remember his grandma came over there. His grandma had her hand all in my face over there. You better make sure you take care of my baby. You better make sure you take care of my baby. And the little airman was like, Mama, you don't understand. This Chief Lewis, he like Michael Jordan to the baby. She said, I don't give a damn who he is. He better make sure that he take care of my baby. And then I used to love to sit in the stand, man. When I was over there listening, I'm listening over there to the family members, right? Because I'm eavesdropping. They don't know who I am. Sometimes they don't have no clue of what the military is. One of them even saw me at 8 stripes and thought I was in the 8 week of basic training. I was like, yes, ma'am, I'm really enjoying this training. But I used to love to go over there and hear them when they talking about the recruiters, man. They be talking about you guys over there. Oh yeah, that Sergeant Mildenhall, he's a great recruiter, man. He gave my baby an opportunity. Guess what? And you know when you're doing a good job, when you're out there recruiting, when you start being like a used car salesman or a funeral home director, right? You start getting one family member, then next thing you know, another family member decide to go, they bring them down there to you, man. You ain't doing nothing. They out there just bringing them all the way to you. But on Friday, when I used to look out there, and I wouldn't sit on the reviewing stand. I sit out there with the parents. That really pumped me up, man. That made me really, really proud. Proud to serve. Proud to look at those heroes out there as they raise their right hand, as they get ready to join the United States Air Force with all these big dreams that you guys don't give them. I'm eavesdropping on their dreams and stuff. And I'm hearing how they getting ready to serve like 20 years, how they gonna get their degree, how they gonna do this, how they gonna do that, how they gonna travel the world, how they gonna do everything. They just fired up and they motivated, they full of that pride, enthusiasm, and passion. And no matter how my week was going, man, no matter what don't happen, no matter what the MAXCOM chief don't did to me, no matter if the chief master of the airport don't snuck down there on me to chew me all the way out, I still get fired up because you know what? Those heroes that you put out there have me pumped all the way up. And I just love you recruiters, man. I need for you guys to love yourself. You know, when I joined the Air Force, the motto was aim high. And I know that's still the same motto with the Air Force now. But I'm looking at you recruiters, I'm asking you guys, I want you to aim higher, man. Aim higher. Do what you love and love what you do. I used to love to go there and talk to a recruiter who's been doing recruiting for like 15, 16, 17 years. And they constantly pushing all the way up. Some people say, oh, they shouldn't be able to do that. I said, know what? When you do what you love what you do, you'll do it for free. And your heart is all into it. You can't do that work out there doing. You going out there, you got to sell the Air Force. But today I want to talk to you a little bit about aim high. And when I'm talking about aim high, I'm talking about the recruiters that are off inside this circle. I know it's tough, man. I remember when I was down there as the command chief of Lackland, I know how tough it is. We're getting promoted because over the recruiting schoolhouse, those 3 recruiters or 4 recruiters over there, they fell up on the 37th training wing. And I know how our AFRS, I remember I had one of the command chief, Vance Clark, called me up, trying to tell me something. I said, Vance, I'm so kind of confused, man. I think you're crossing on a different lane, man. I said, I understand the recruiters in the schoolhouse, when they graduate, they go to you, but you don't tell me how to like strat or do whatever else inside this thing. You know, these recruiters right there belong to me. And I'm going to make sure they get a fair shake, and I understand that. But at the same token, you recruiters, I want you to aim high. I want you to understand, man, that when you're out there recruiting, a lot of y'all out there in the little small cities where you're all by yourself, and you say, you know, sometimes you kind of feel bad, you know, I'm out here, but you got a team with you. Don't forget about your family team, man. You know, when I was a command chief down in Lackland, I remember Sunday, my wife and I went over to the commissary. And we was at the commissary, we were shopping around, and I was looking over there. And I remember many times, like my wife and I at the commissary, you know, she part of the team too. She going through that shopping, and she know when I look over at the hero, we make eye contact, and I can smell like that hero want to talk to me. And I know I'm the commander, I got to talk to him. And I just can't cut him off. I got to talk to him and go all the way through. But my wife know the deal. When I'm talking, she just keep going. You know, she ain't gonna let the ice cream melt. She's gonna keep on going. And she's gonna go check out, and she's gonna keep going. The guy's gonna take the luggage, take the cart out there to the car, gonna put it in the trunk, gonna keep going. She's gonna start that car, and she's gonna take off. And a minute time, I was running across that parking lot trying to catch, you know what I'm saying, that hot old sun trying to get her. But my wife understood that, hey, that's what my passion. And that's what I challenge you guys to do. Make sure your team your family is involved. I remember I was visiting Wright Pat, and I seen this one master up there. She had a whole family, she had her whole kids out there doing recruiting. Everybody was selling their airport story. And that was what I encourage you go out there to do, because when you do that, there's less conflict inside your life. But the same token, I want you to aim higher. I know some of you probably worry about promotion rate. Man, I can tell you right now, man, I'm retired. And it ain't the stripes you have on your sleeves. It ain't the ribbons on your chest. It ain't the plaques on your wall. It's the legacy that you leave behind, man. What is your legacy? You hit a home run with that 30 years from now, man. That's one of those little heroes that you helped get in the military. It's up there on the retirement stand, and he's talking about you. That'll mean more than any stripe than you ever had. But also, too, when I'm telling you to aim higher, I want you to dream big. I want you to dream so big. I want you to have goals so big that you need a rocket to go up there and hit it. And I want you, when you're telling these folks your goal, I want them to be laughing at you. Because then you know what? Because you probably got some good goals then. I always tell people, in order to achieve, you got to believe in yourself. And once you start believing in yourself, it's amazing what you can go out there and accomplish. And while you're believing in yourself, you need to get you a coach along the way. Someone who's going to help you go out there and like hit a new level. So when you get tired, when you want to quit, the coach is still pushing you to push it up to a whole different level. And while you pushing it to a different level, I don't know what it is. It's 2021. Everybody want to complain about 2020, how bad it was. 2020 was a great year, man. 2020 gave you the opportunity to prove that you're stronger, that you're more resilient, and that you know how to like use a different mechanism. And if you think 2020 was bad, 2021 gonna be worse. You're gonna face even more challenges. And in 10 years from now, you're gonna be forgot all about like the COVID-19 and all that. You're gonna be fighting a whole different fight. But it's all about you. A lot of times inside the Air Force, what I noticed too, I notice a lot of people always want to talk about the good old days, about the past. And they want to complain about the now. But ain't too many folks like looking into the future or what we going at inside the future. I'm asking you guys, how are you going to shape the Air Force future? And you look at it right now, you look at how the Air Force is really changing. You look at that Space Force. I remember when Global Strike first came around. I remember 12 years ago, when I was the Installation Command Chief, we used to have to do those congressional visits to DC. And I remember some congressman let it out the bag. He was talking about Space Force back then. And me and my general, we were like kind of shocked. What this guy talking about? Space Force, Buck Rogers and all this other those things. And then you look around now, it's a reality. Then you look at how it's going to continue to grow. They're going to grow all the way up. So how are you going to grow with it? I look off inside here. I look at you guys. You all are mass on. You all leaving a team of folks. And they always told me individual win awards while team win championships. How are you pushing your team to win a championship? How are you making your team better? And I know sometimes, you look at it too, especially in recruiting, promotion is hard. I remember back in 2015, I think I went to an annual award and I talked to a guy, he was a math sergeant, and right now he just got lined up for chief. And I remember he was complaining talking about his, my production suit, he holding me back and he ain't letting me do whatever. I told him like, BS, only person can hold you back is yourself. Maybe your production suit can put a wall or have a barrier in front of you, but that's not holding you back. You still need to learn how to climb over that wall or bust down through that barrier to get what you need to get. But at the same token, if you're gonna sell your wingman out, or you're gonna make your peers look bad, or you're gonna sacrifice your family, or you're gonna sacrifice your self-dignity to get promoted, you don't deserve it. You need to do it the right way. And I tell folks too, a lot of times you hear people over there like, and you need to go out there and get, if your goal is to get promoted, you need to go out there and get some honest feedback. Go find you somebody gonna shoot it to you straight. You always hear people, hey, keep doing what you're doing, it's all gonna work out. And I said, BS, man. I don't believe that crap. Keep doing what you're doing, and guess what? You're gonna get the same results. In order to have something you never had, you gotta do something you never did. And a lot of times, you need someone who's gonna make you uncomfortable, who's gonna push you to hit a whole different level. I remember a young Senior Master Sergeant Lewis, I had this chief, he was in my butt, man. He would see me at the commissary. He would see me driving on the street in my car. He would see me at the top 3 meeting, and he always had feedback for me. And he was always in my butt. to make me better. And I remember one time I told the chief, my plate is full, chief. He's like, you better get a bigger plate to learn how to eat fast, because I'm still piling stuff on Saturday. And that kept me from getting comfortable. Now, a lot of times I ain't like that chief. Man, chief just wearing me out off the side here. But what chief was doing, he was preparing me to continue to grow. And that's what I challenge you guys to do, to prepare yourself to continue to grow. How you growing? You know, when I think about it too, I love to go back and reflect on 3 things. I know, like, you know, one of the things you look at, who ever seen that movie, Rudy? You know, one of the recruiters, one of the production suits sent me a little clip of Rudy about a week ago. I don't know if you ever seen Rudy that went to Notre Dame. And guess what? He was in the Navy or whatever it was, and he seen a ring on somebody's hand, and they had Notre Dame. He's like, how you get a ring like that? Like, hey, you got to go to school, got to go down to Notre Dame. And so when he saw that ring, you know, he got inspired. I want to go to Notre Dame. But guess what? He academically, he definitely couldn't qualify for Notre Dame. Athletically, he definitely wanted to play on the football team. Come on, Rudy, you too small. You ain't big enough to go. But Rudy, guess what? Out of all the opposition, all those haters, everybody telling you can't do this, but guess what? He was still inspired to go out there and do it. And Rudy did play on Notre Dame. So I'm telling you this, a lot of times you may hear people tell you you can't go out there and do something. But the only reason you won't be able to do it is if you decide you can't do it. You know, another person I like to talk about is Tom Brady. I only like Tom Brady. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, and I'm mad because we had to play off and everything else. But Tom Brady, man, look how long he been doing this, man. How many years he been up inside here, like, playing at this level? It's unbelievable. And guess what? You remember when Tom Brady was drafted, man? He was drafted in the 5th round. You know, what about if you don't get a strat? How that make you feel? You know, are you mad because I ain't getting no strat and you start, like, performing at that level? Or you perform like Tom Brady? I ain't get a strat, but guess what? I'm going to be a #1 draft pick. Tom Brady went out there. Look how many Super Bowl rings he won. That cat is hungry, man. He always hungry. Always rubbing his belly. You know, I saw him one time on the beach. He out there had his little kids out there. He in full gear with football, throwing the pass around, had his kids rushing him, right? Had the family all involved to help him go out there and reach a goal. He throwing the ball, you know, working on his release. Tom Brady, you know, not only that, but Tom Brady have a behavior therapist who help him work on his game opposite of too, because he want to be the best. But what I like about Tom Brady, that he's hungry. He always hungry. He ain't full. When he was looking at all those Super Bowl rings inside his little counter, and they asked him which one you like the best, and you think about all the ones he probably MVP quarterback for, you know what Tom Brady said? Tom Brady went out there and said, what I like the best is my next one. So I'm asking you guys, you know, to be a Tom Brady, to go out there and, like, you know, look at your next ring. And then the last person I want to talk to you guys about, I don't know if y'all remember the 2012 Olympics in Rio. This guy named Mo Farah. He had already won 2016 Olympics in Rio. In 2012, he had won 2 gold medals, 5,000 meters and 10,000 meters. And he had 4 daughters. And so he was planning on winning the 5,000 meters and 10,000 meters in Brazil. The reason he planned on winning those 2 races, because he got 4 daughters, he planned on giving each one of his daughters a gold medal. So doing the 10,000 meter race in 2016 in Rio, as you run into 10,000 meters, that's 25 laps around the track. On the 10th lap, Mo Farah is running. Someone spiked him on his heel, and he fall over. Boom. He fall over, everybody passed him all the way by. Now, everybody knows Mo Farah don't got done wrong. That, you know, he could have easily just kept rolling up, got up, threw his hands up, and took the sympathy road. But you know what Mo Farah did? He got back up and he started back running. And Mo Farah had a goal. I got to win a gold medal. He don't got knocked down, but he didn't stay down. He didn't play like a victim. He let that inspire him to be a victor. And he got out and running. He went, ran, and he won a gold medal. He won that race. Guys, I'm gonna tell you like this, sometimes you may not get treated fairly. You may get the short end of the stick, but don't let that stop you. Don't be a victor. Don't be a victim of it. Be a victor. I remember when I retired from Joint Base San Antonio, my retirement declaration was an MSL. And didn't nobody want that job. That job almost killed me. And then, you know, a couple of my command sergeant major friends and the chief, oh, Lou, man, they did you wrong, this and that. I said, man, I ain't served the Air Force for no medal, man. I served the Air Force because I loved it. And I said, the only declaration I'm really concerned about is the one my mom is really happy about. That's that old good conduct medal. And every year I got a good conduct medal, so my mom don't know what a defense military service medal. That's too many words. But you know what a good conduct. My baby was good in the Air Force. I love my baby off the side there. And so that's what I understand. You know, I did it for that reason. But also I want to tell you guys, from everybody know me. Everybody know that I have a lot of energy. That I have a lot of energy. That I used to wake up every morning, run 5 miles. I was in great shape. I used to 5 miles, no matter if it was rain, sleet, snowing, whatever it was, I would pound that pavement so I can get fired up, get my pep level up. Then I go by Starbucks, get me a big old cup of coffee. Then I'm ready to just go to energize the body all the way to 9 o'clock at night. My wife said, boy, I wish you had that same energy at home, like you be running around the installation doing all that. I said, you know what, I got to recharge, so I can get up and do it all the way again. But in April of this year, man, April of 2020, my life changed, man. My life changed. And when it changed, it just hit me out of nowhere. I was still running. One day I was running. I was looking at my watch. It was 3 minutes slower than my normal run time. But I ain't think no word. I thought this old watch, good luck watch, man, it just broke. But what happened? The COVID had got me. And I'm talking about it hit me so hard that when I went to the hospital, I thought I'd just get a shot and just be done with it. But when those shot over there, they were like, and when I'm in the hospital, they give me a little oxygen. I'm like, all right, this ain't bad. And my condition just kept deteriorating. Just kept dropping. And next thing you know, I was in ICU. And like I tell people, last time I was in the hospital was 1965. That's when I was born. And so when I'm in the ICU, and the only thing I could move in ICU was my eyes. And with the medication they would give me, with the hallucination, and the people just dying all the way around you, they just gave me a whole different perspective. And I can tell you that I was so bad that all that positivity I always had, and the pain with the headaches, with the labor and trying to breathe, with just all the suffering on the drugs, I just wanted to die, man. I really wanted to die. Because I just couldn't take it anymore. I was being selfish. I just wanted to die. And I remember the doctor called my wife and told my wife that I wouldn't make it through the night. But the thing that got me through, man, were all the millions, the thousands and thousands of people across the world who I know, who was blowing my Facebook thing up, and with my nurses in there reading my Facebook telling me, they was telling me, keep going. Don't stop. Don't give up. Keep fighting. And when I gave up on myself and when the doctor gave up on me, the people praying for me and supporting me inspired me to keep going. And when I changed my mentality from being a victim, from feeling sorry for myself, to, you know what, I'm going to fight this, I'm going to win this, everything started to change. I started trying to have goals and milestones inside the hospital. I could only move my eyes, but I could look at the clock. I can close my eyes and try to count to 60 seconds so I can be 60 seconds when the clock go around. Something to keep me going, something to keep me going, something to keep me motivated and keep me inspired to look forward to. And it all worked out. And also, I'm gonna tell you guys too, you know, when you're going through an adversary like that, you got all the challenges that's gonna come up on you. When I'm going through there, you know, I was so happy to get out of the hospital. And then they tell me going to a rehab center. I'm in the rehab center. Got to learn how to walk again. I got to learn how to feed myself, suck out of the straw, you know, do all the little basic stuff that we take for granted. I got to learn all this again. And then I get a phone call from my boss. My boss tell me, I'm thinking he called like, whatever. He's like, Lou, I hate to tell you this. In your 36 years inside the Air Force, I hope all your travel vouchers look really good because someone filed a fraud, waste, and abuse complaint saying that you have a private business where you're going around making money speaking. And guys, I've been speaking for 10 years, whatever. I never charged anyone 1 penny to go off and do it. And when I do go there, I go there and I leave and come back and I telework from work. And so I was under investigation for doing fraud, waste, and abuse while I was in the hospital. And at first, I was mad about it. But then I started thinking about, man, I'm getting mad about this fraud, waste, and abuse, and I know it's not true. All that doing is prevent me from, like, my main focus is trying to heal, right? So I just laughed it off. Hey, man, let me go back and start back healing again. Let me start back, jump on this positivity train and like working towards my healing. And so, you know, I started working towards my healing and everything because I wanted to get out that rehab center. And when I was in the rehab center too, you know, Mr. Negativity, it was a fight every day. You know, I was looking at old guys who 80 years old who weren't in no shape, who came in after me, who was in worse shape than me, but they was leaving the rehab center before me because they can control their oxygen. I couldn't control my oxygen level. And so I was comparing, I was competing, I was complaining, and that wouldn't help me. And so I had to get, you know, I had to jump back on that positivity train. And then I had another repeat battle inside the hospital. I had to, soon I got to rehab, went at the hospital, rehab center, went home for a few days, went back to the rehab center, went back to the hospital again for other problems off inside. And, you know, I survived that right there too. But I'm just telling you guys, like, you know, this COVID-19 is, it's the real deal, man. And you know, like, some people say, you know what, all this is a hoax. And some people emailed me and told me it's a hoax. And you know what? I can't, you know, I can't doubt them. If someone come tell me they saw a UFO, I never seen a UFO, guess what? That's a hoax, man. I ain't never seen no UFO. You know what I'm saying? Guess what? I don't believe it. And I'm telling you the same thing, like, you know, whatever your belief is with COVID or whatever else, I'm just telling you from living experience and someone, you know, that's been fired up and, you know, I done been out there like some pep rallies that some recruiters flew from overseas and they saw me running in that morning when I was there running every day I was there, staying in shape. And where it don't almost destroy me, how it don't change me, that's the real deal. So I just encourage you guys to go out there and be, you know, just stay safe and like, don't take no roll no dice, don't take no chance because it affects people differently, man. You know, you could get lucky and hit the jackpot like me where it just almost like knock you all the way out. But the same token, I'm just proud to be still living. You know what I'm saying? I'm just proud to be still living. But anyway, I don't get y'all to doom and gloom, but I'm proud of the recruiters office out there. I want y'all to keep doing what y'all doing with recruiting. Keep bringing those fired up airmen inside the United States Air Force. I love those airmen. I love all the recruiters off in there. Seems like when my son did his white changed my life and helped me, I feel like obligated to help any recruiters off inside do the same thing. And I feel bad too because I think in 1 year I was supposed to be going to Arkansas because that's where my mom lived in Arkansas. I'm a little Arkansas guy, and the recruiters were having their annuals in Arkansas, and I had something to come up on the job. I couldn't go up there and do it. And so, like, if they ever had their annuals in Arkansas again, in Hot Spring, I would pay my own way to go down there to honor what I had promised that I would do again for them because I felt bad when I had to turn them down off the side of it because some came up on the job. But you know what? When I was laying in the hospital looking up at the ceiling and wondering why the good Lord gave me an opportunity to still stay here, it's just to continue to give back. So you recruiters, if y'all ever need anything, y'all got an ally, y'all got a friend, y'all got someone who love what you guys off inside there do, and just keep doing it. Keep changing lives. Keep giving the heroes the opportunity to serve our country. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up for if anyone have any question over there for me, you can ask me anything. Ain't nothing off limit. You can ask me about the chief that I supported down at Pope while I was dumb enough to do that. Support him. You know, I even had a chaplain who called me. Chaplain said, "Chief, hey, don't go out there and do that. You know, you got to rake across the cone and do whatever." I'm like, "Chaplain, I understand, but you know, like I always try to I don't want nobody to do nothing bad to themselves." At the same token, chaplain, I know you always praying for me, so I know I'll be all right. So thank you, chaplain. So if anybody got any questions, you can ask me anything. If you don't want to ask in this form, you can always email me too. Anything you want to email me off the side. So I'm going to open up it for questions, officer.
Hey, Chief, we have one question. He said, Chief, I love to take the opportunity to expand my knowledge through reading. What's your fired up Chief reading list?
Hey, I love to read. I got ADHD, so those big old books, right? Sometimes they put those big old books off and say, I ain't got time to read that big old book, man. I gotta have a short read, man. Something that, don't laugh at me. Some of them sitting on the toilet that I can flip through, you know what I'm saying? When I'm off inside to do that. So I like to read, like, I don't know if y'all heard John Gordon. He got Training Camp. He got a book called The Positive Dog. I don't know if y'all ever read that book, Who Moved My Cheese? And I like those little short reads along that way. I like the Ken Blanchard, those little leadership, 1 minute manager, 1 minute leader, 1 minute rep man, all those little short read books off the side. And sometimes, I may pick up like an autobiography and read that off the side too. But I like to read those little short reads. But right now, one of my reads that I probably read too much on is like Facebook. Facebook ain't really expanding your knowledge on the side. It's kind of taking away from it. But I encourage you guys to go out there and, find something you're interested in and, and read and go out there and, read it and just go with it. Thank you, Sergeant Garza. Hey, let me ask you a question. I see Mendenhall on there. Scott, you better ask me a question too, man. What's wrong with you? Me and you good friends. I'm gonna go down this list. Hey, were anyone in basic training when I was a command chief? On here? Garza, you was on there? That's good then, Garza. I feel like I owe you the rest of my life, man. Like when I retired, man, I made a promise to all those little heroes on March the 16th, 2012, that as long as I'm 6 feet above ground instead of 6 feet under, I belong to you. So whatever you want from me, Chief, I need $1,000. Guess what, hero? You got $1,000 coming off inside there. And I love it too, because those parents who had heroes who graduated that day, I still keep in contact with them. And that's been over 8 years ago, man. They still email me off the side there. And because I made a promise. My mom was in there. My mom was sitting off the side. I made a promise in front of my mom. Can I tell y'all something? And, when my mom didn't know what I did when I was in the Air Force. I was embarrassed when they made me a services guy. I was really, really embarrassed. I was like, man, why they make me a services guy? I ain't volunteered to come to the Air Force to be no cook. I had a bad attitude about, this job I'm doing, because, I ain't have a lot of esteem with it, everything else. So I ain't tell my mom what I did in the Air Force, man. Whole time she just knew I was in the Air Force. She didn't know what I did because I was like kind of ashamed of my job. So that went long for all those years, right? And so when I get stationed in San Antonio, my nephew joined the Air Force. And he don't know what I do neither. He joined the Air Force, and I'm the command chief of basic military training. And so he going through there, you have to do the memory work. But like in Arkansas, you got a first name, but then you got a nickname. Don't nobody know your first name, man. Everybody knows your nickname. And so he didn't put 2 and 2 together. So, he going through there like memory work. And so then he finally get a call home, and my mom was like, have your uncle went over there and seen you yet? Have you seen Uncle? And he's like, no, he crying over there talking about how hard he ain't seen me, right? And so then my mom called me up and like, you ain't went over there and seen him? I said, Mama, I can't go over there. She said, what you mean you can't go over there? You get in trouble, you go over there? I said, Mama, I just can't go over there. Mama, I can't go over there. I'm sorry, I can't go over there. She said, boy, I don't care what it is. You better get your butt over there and you better go see him and make sure they treating him all right. I said, Mama, I really can't go over there. But she was very persistent about me going over there, right? So then I said, all right. I said, this is a little something that don't embarrass the hell out of me. So I go over to the dorm. I don't call them up. I go over to the dorm, tell them, hey, there's a little training down there in the dorm so I can go see him. And I go up there, and he almost thought he saw a ghost. Because when he looked up and saw all those damn stripes with the star inside there, then it put 2 and 2 together that his uncle was the command chief down there. And I'm over talking to him and like, it's hard. Then instead of calling me chief, he called me by my nickname, Uncle, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I was like, hero, what the hell wrong with you? Why you embarrass me? Pack your shit up. I made him pack all this stuff up in the side of the bag. I'm recycling your ass so far back that you ain't gonna be able to see whatever. Then I make him put it all in the bag, recycle, put it down there, come get in the car with me. Then I drive him over to Starbucks and I go get him a couple of Starbucks. Hey man, go call mama and tell mama I'm nice to you. You know what I'm saying? So mama don't be on my butt. And he called mama and told her that I was nice to him. So then later, my mom came down there for my retirement ceremony. Then she realized that, boy, why your picture on the wall all over the dang base right here? And then she realized that I was, like a command chief down there. But I tell you guys, like the whole time frame, my mom didn't know I was the command chief down there, because anyway, she wouldn't have cared anyway. You know what I'm saying? All she cared about was I'm being nice to people, I'm being good, and then I'm doing my best. That's the only thing she cared about. Any other question off the side there?
No, Chief, I think that's all the questions so far posted. Chief Goldstrom, did you have anything?
I do. Hey, Chief Lewis, it's absolutely great to see you again. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to pour into these outstanding recruiters. I was deployed over the last year and watched your fight and your recovery through COVID through Facebook from an overseas undisclosed location, and what an inspiration you were. I think for all of us as we watched you fight through that. And speaking of fight, I want to tell you a little bit about these outstanding recruiters that you've poured into today, the way that they fought through COVID. As you know, a traditional format, the way you and I might have been recruited, we had a recruiter show up at our high school, right? Or we had a family member that was in the military that inspired us to join. These recruiters fought through that, through virtual engagements, agile shipping. You talked about receiving BMTers at the airport. These recruiters led us through that fight, and at the end of the day, we met our sessions goal for 20, and we're well on our way for FY21. So an outstanding engagement today, Chief. Thank you so much for pouring into these professionals, these outstanding airmen that really are creating our Air Force that you speak of for 2030 and 2040, because what we will need in the future is multifunctional airmen ready to fight our nation's next conflict against possibly a peer competitor. And our recruiters are doing that. So thank you so much, Chief, for pouring into this team today. Really appreciate it.
Hey, Chief, I really appreciate you too. And when I said that from the bottom of my heart, if all of a sudden, people know that normally if I said shit, I really mean it. And I'm serious. When I met you over there, I remember I emailed you one time about that John Jay High School, and you jumped on us. You know what? That's my type of chief. And I couldn't think of a better person to be leading recruiter. I'm saying you probably one of the luckiest guys in the world. Recruiters, I got a special message for you. I love going to y'all annuals, man. Y'all have a million different rewards. And you know what? You make it so bad when you go to a regular Air Force annual awards banquet because, man, you recruiters, y'all know how to really have a good time, lay off teams, and just really just take care of yourself. But at the same token, I want to tell you to keep dreaming bigger, keep aiming higher. Don't allow your achievements to be bigger than your dream. Stay fired up, stay motivated, stay full of that pride, enthusiasm, passion, and keep doing it big, hero. Fired Up Chief is proud of each and every one of you. Fired Up Chief is out. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. On behalf of the top three, thank you. I'll turn it over to Master Sergeant Walker, the Vice President.
Chief Goldstrom, thank you for the words, sir, and thank you for supporting our top three. Chief Lewis, can't thank you enough for sharing your testimony with us today and encouraging us to aim higher. We also needed some much needed pep, and we couldn't think of a greater person to help us begin 2021. With that, we are going to now transition over to our general membership meeting. Today, we'll be going over our treasury report. We'll be discussing some old and new business. We'll also discuss our committee updates, following some crosstalk, and finally, our president, Master Sergeant Weinberg, will share some remarks. With that, I will open up the floor to Master Sergeant Cannella with our treasury report.
Hey, everybody, how's it going? Great message, and thanks, Chiefs. As far as our membership goes, we have 109 members currently, and for the money, we have $3,584 in our account. We still have coins up for sale. If anybody's interested, you can reach me. So that's all I got for the treasury report.
Great, thank you. As far as our old and new business, I wanted to let you all know that Mass Art and Woods has been sending out some information on a book club initiative with some great reading material. I know Senior Wiggins earlier posted in the chat asking Chief Lewis about some ideas. So we encourage everybody to look into that and join in our book club. We also wanted to put it on everyone's radar that our elections will be right around the corner. So if you're considering taking a role in the top 3, whether it be being a committee or being a part of the executive council, we wanted to encourage you all to keep an eye out for that. If you know somebody, to nominate them. The only requirement is that you be a current dues paying member of the top 3. From that, I wanted to transition over to our committee updates, and Master and Holybar, can you speak on our awards?
Yes. Hey, it's Master Sergeant Hallbar. I don't know about you, but I'm fired up right now. And I need y'all to translate it into these awards. I know you're tired, you need EPRs and all the calendar awards, but this is the time to highlight the individuals in your unit. We have 2 awards, the Rising Star, which is for an individual, and our Chief Esposito Award for a team. And that can be any team. It doesn't have to be a squadron. It could be a flight. It could be a squadron ops team, whatever you may be. But it's a narrative base. So if you can write 3 paragraphs, you can write this award. And I challenge you not to just take that NCO that won that quarter and just carry it over. Like, use this award to highlight those individuals that just weren't quite there to fit that bill for NCO of the quarter or top EA recruiter. So do that. We only have 1 nominee right now. I remember 2 boards ago, we had about 14, 16 or so. So they're due 15 Jan to myself, and then I'll send it out to our board members. They'll grade it, and then we'll get the winners announced. So if you have any questions, I sent out a couple emails with the templates. Contact me directly if you need help writing them or anything like that. But that's all I got.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Master and Holybar. That is what we have for our committee updates. Please stay tuned on our social media platforms for other updates and upcoming events. With that, we do want to open the floor to any crosstalk. If anyone has any questions, any feedback about our top 3, anything at all for us to answer, feel free to unmute and ask your question, or you can post it in the chat. It's up to you. We'll give you a moment. All right, nothing heard today for crosstalk. We will now transition over to our president, Master Sergeant Weinberg, for his remarks in closing.
Hey everyone, thanks for being on. Chief Goldstrom, thanks for being here and supporting the top 3. We greatly appreciate it. To the fired up chief, amazing. I know that is a tough thing to go through with the COVID. I know I've had family members that have had it, and they have recovered also. So thanks for those encouraging words. Yeah, it's interesting to see and hear you speak like that, and I know it is motivating. So without further ado, thank you everyone for supporting the top 3. Let's get some more members. Let's push that membership. Your executive council and your committees are on the back end of this. If there's something you want to see or are not happy with, please let us know. You can email me directly, and we'll take it head on up until the time we transition over to a new committee. Without further ado, Sergeant Walker, the floor is yours to close.
All right, great. Thanks, Sergeant Weinberg. At this time, I want a motion to close our January general membership meeting.
I second that.
Great. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.